Eagle Eye Creations, jump off. Eagle Eye Creations, jump off. You guys ready for this one? Rock and roll.
So why do you have windows?
Windows really opened my eyes to the whole new perspective of how I can combine these broken pieces of mirror and beautiful pieces of wood to create different displays. Windows.
What is that?
Work in progress.
What will that be?
Display case. Display for I thought it was going to be for a friend for the farmer's market, but it's so delicate. It's literally very fragile. I don't see her being able to use it multiple times and it's still staying in its state because there's no hardware. You know, you can easily just take it apart, which I designed purposefully so she could stack it, easily move it, but it turned it out to be so fragile. I'm thinking that it's just going to go into a friend's house. They would just leave it set up instead of breaking it down, putting it back together, breaking it down. So you've got Black Beauty here. Black Beauty is all black walnut. Super special edition. Black walnut is very hard to come by. So Black Beauty you could display multiple ways. This is probably one of my favorites with Black Beauty because this line is still very flat, horizontal to the horizon, parallel to the horizon, whereas everything else is, whoa. So the mirrors are designed to be able to create space, and also I love the idea of being able to accept change so easily. Watch how easy. So now you have the exact same piece of art, but a completely new perspective, a completely different perspective. And it was very easily done. So I like to represent that with the mirrors. I feel like they're representing change easily. Black Beauty.
What about this
Oh
piece?
my goodness, yeah, so the bench. I've created the bench to go along with the table. It's still, so there's no hardware. So you got my brand, and you can see where I've got the grooves that these line up and fit in.
Wow. And did you get this from a tree that you found?
Yes, cedar. I have an affinity with cedar. Most of the, so people often have asked, how did I get started in this? Years ago, there were hurricanes that blew down a bunch of cedar trees. And they were literally piles of cedar trees on the side of the road, just waiting for Eagle Eye Creations to scoop them up. And so I scooped them up, and I felt very led to all of a sudden start creating with these pieces of wood, basically turning them into something that is functional and beautiful, breathing life back into them, you know, opposed to them going to a landfill dump. You get pieces like this.
Also, can you talk to me about the coffee table? So maybe.
Yeah, it's got, again, I'm into no hardware. It's not really my thing. So this you actually have an added piece to the coffee table. So this comes from underneath. So I've cut these on a bevel, so they're not going to push through this way, but they will push through that way. So what I've found over time with gravity, these pieces fall out. So I could put little shims in them, but then a friend of mine said, you know, you could put a real nice plant in here, and then you still have this piece for the coffee table itself. But over time, this ends up falling out without the shims. I've got little shims that I can put in here that you don't see. You can put them in from the back, and then that helps hold this whole thing in. Again, no hardware. You know, I'm not into the whole having to have tools and knowing how to use them to put things together, to take them apart. So I've worked in these dowels. Again, you've got Eagle Eye Creations brand. So with the dowels, basically all you're gonna do is pull them out as needed.
Cool. So this was one whole piece, the table and the bench?
The coffee table is a separate.
Nice. Very pretty. Wow. So you can move really easily. If you have to move, you can.
Yeah,
This is very functional as well.
that's the whole idea behind it. Again, accepting change easy, being mobile, flexible, and just taking that time to really put that effort into something fit. It's got to fit. If it doesn't fit, it's not going to work. But since you take the time and the effort to make sure it fits, it works really well.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan. It's beautiful.
Yes. You're welcome. Thank you. Well, this has been fun, guys. Thank you.